Hey guys, welcome back. So in this example, I will talk about how ToDoubleBiFunction function works. So let me first create one function, and we'll see that how this is different from what we were learning till now. So if you look at here, ToDoubleBiFunctions, functions, right? This guy is available in the Java util package. Click on that. Now, if you try to remember all previous functions, whatever I was talking till now, it takes one argument, right? It takes one data. Here this guy, ToDoubleBiFunctions, functions, it will take two input argument to the functions. So when you press on control and click on this function, you can see that you can read this Java documentations represent a function that accepts two argument and produces double value result. You can see that no matter what argument it is, but finally your output is going to be double value. Okay, and it has a method called apply as double. Now what is this t and what is the u? The t and u is t is the first function argument and u is the second function argument, right? So t is the first function's argument and u is the second function's argument. Now let's see that how this works. So let me create one, and here what I want is I want integer. Okay, so again go back to these definitions. See, this is the first function's argument and u is the second section argument, and what is the return type here? Double, right? Clear? Now my second argument, I want double. Clear? Now create a reference is equal to, so now what happens? This guy will take two functions. So can we write a comma b, right? And after angle bracket, can I do a summation of this a plus b, right? Now your function is ready, right? Your functions is ready. So this is your integer, right? This is your double, right? What is the output you are going to get here? Your output you are going to get as a double. So let me write a main method. Okay, make this as a static. Static, guys, I always make just for my convenience. Okay, I don't need to create the object to call these functions. You got my point? So I always make as a static. Now when you say dot apply as a double, so if I'll supply 20 here and 70.67584, let's say, right? What is the output I am going to get? I am going to get output as a double, right? You can see that I did a summations of integer and double. My final output is double. So this is the usage of this functional interface. So here no matter what data you have, your final output is going to be double. So just to show you, I'll create one more example. And here what I will do, I will take both the input as an integer. Okay, and let me call this function. Okay, now if I run that again, my output is going to be double, and you can see that this is your output 90.0, which is nothing but double, right? So you understood here this function will accept two input, okay, but your output is always going to be double. Similarly, this functional interface, we call it as ToDoubleBiFunctions functions. Similarly, we have something called ToDouble functions. We'll see that how this function is different. There is another functional interface called ToDouble function. You can see that ToDouble functions, this guy. Click on that, press control, click on this. So when you go here, you look at here, This functions also will take as a this functions will produce the output what you supply in the angle bracket. Two double functions, right? And whatever you will whatever you will supply in the angle bracket, that will be the input to the functions, but output is always going to be double, right? See, if you remember when I was talking about double functions, right, in double functions what we had apply method. That apply method output was based on what object you supplied in the angle bracket. Let me show you that double functions. So double functions where we have, can you see that? Yeah, double functions. So look at here, whatever the output, the object we supply in the angle bracket, that would be the output for the supply method. Clear? Now two double functions. Here, no matter what type of input you supply, your output is going to be double. That's the difference, guys. That's the difference. Okay. Now let's see that how this works. So I am going to supply input as an integer. Double function is equal to a, one argument, and then let's see that a dot 8. Okay. Make this as static and let me call this. So what method it has? It has apply as a double, and let me supply 9. So what is the output? You look at the output 70.0, which means though your input was integer, what output you got finally? You got output as an double. Let me write one more functions. Here my input is going to be float, okay, and yeah, and then .78. Okay, so you can see that I'm writing a f, so I'm making sure that my input is a float. I'm making sure that, but what would be the output? Your output is going to be double. Your internally the conversion will happen and your output is going to be double. You can see that this is your double output. Clear? So two double functions, what it will do is whatever input you will supply, I mean no matter what input you will supply, your output is going to be always double. And two double bifunctions, what it will do is no matter what two argument you supply to this functional interface, your output is always going to be double, right? Clear? I hope you understood. Now we have seen that two double bifunctions. We also have seen that two double functions, right? Similarly, what we have is two int bifunctions, right? Like two double bifunctions, what we have two int bifunctions, which we will see that in, let's say, in next class. Let me create one more class. This is not next class, this is a next class, Java class. Okay, two int by function example. Okay, I will do one thing. I will, for my convenience, I will copy everything so that, okay, I will type that better so that I can explain better. So this is my functions, guys. Look at here, two int by functions. Again, this will work in the same way. Again, it will take two object as an input. Your output is going to be always integer. Okay, so let's see that I am going to supply here double and I am going to supply here integer. Okay, create a reference, and then since it is a 2, so you write function 1 comma function 2. Okay, and what I will do is I will do functions 1 into function 2. Okay, clear? But look at here, why compile time? Look at here, the compile time is cannot convert double to the integer because there is one double, there is one integer, and you know that these functions will always give you the output as an integer. Sorry. Okay, now your issue will be resolved. So let me make a main method, make this as static okay, write one print statement dot apply as an int. I'll write 9.8 and then 9. Right, so what is the output? Let's run this. 817, which is nothing but your output is again integer, right? So let me do one more thing where I'll write one more function so that you will get more confidence. But here what I will do, I'll write a string as well as I will write a string. So this guy will now take input as a toString, toInt functions, and your output is going to be integer. So how this will work? So as we know that in integer upper class we have a method called integer.parseInt. Sorry, I think by mistake some other method came. parseInt, yeah, and this guy takes argument. It will convert your string to integer, and similarly you do for this second function. Clear? Okay, so what is the issue now? Why it is complaining? Okay, so now clear, this your functions will convert your string to the integer. So what I can do here is I can supply to this by functions, I am going to supply toString. So whatever we write in the double quote, it will be considered as a string, right? And you will get the output as what you are expecting. So you can see that your output is 810, right? Clear? It did a multiplication, and first it converted to integer and then it multiplied. Now similarly, in earlier example when I was talking about two double by functions, we had something called two double functions, right? Similarly, when we have two int by functions, we have something called two int function. So again, two int functions, what happens is your input will be limited, your input will be restricted, but your output is going to be always integer. What does mean by that? So let's say two int function, right? This one, two int functions. Click on that, press Ctrl, click on this. When you go inside here, whatever input you take, whatever object you take as an input, your output is always going to be integer, guys. Okay, clear? You can read the Java documentation so that you will have more understanding of this functional interface which came as a part of Java 1.8. Now I will do here as a string, create a reference, and then write a, and then you write a is nothing but a string, you write dot length, right? And make this as a static. Let me run this. So this is my int function, dot, we have method called apply as an int, and here what I am going to do is, so apply as an int, and then can't I do like this a, so that I can supply the same input here, test. Okay, let's see that what is the output for this function 4, which is nothing but length of the string. So you can see that though your input was a string, what output you got? You got output as an integer, right? Now let me write one more function so that you will understand. Let's say here your input is going to be double, okay, and you just do a into 5, okay, this is your double data, okay, or you just do a by 5, which is nothing but your double data. Okay, this conversion will not happen, that's fine. So we will do a into 5, and then we have to do typecast because it is the double data, so we cannot typecast, cannot cast double to integer. Okay, let's see that why it is complaining. We are taking that double data, from double I'm fetching the integer. So what is the issue here? Why I am getting this? Double to int conversion is not possible to int function, so it will convert your double to the integer. Let me check that why this is complaining. So I got it. Why this is complaining is when we have a into 2, let's say, assume that, and we need to change double to the integer, this should come within the parenthesis. Okay, so it was complaining because of this. So you got that. Now you have an input double, but your output is going to be integer. So let me test that. So here if I will supply 9.8, okay, it will multiply, okay, this is my function, so it will multiply by 2, but your output is going to be integer. Your output remains integer no matter what input it is 19, right? So 9.8 into 2, it will come 19.6, but your output is going to be 19. So you can see that this is getting converted. Now whatever I told you about 2 int by functions, 2 double by functions, or 2 by functions, or 2 int functions, similarly you have one more called 2, and take this as an assignment. Okay, 2 long by functions. Okay, this will work in the same way, guys. So here what will happen is, no matter what object you are supplying as an input, your output will be always long. Okay, so you can practice for this, as well as you can also practice for 2 long. Let me comment that, otherwise it will give me compile time. We have 2 long functions. So again here, no matter what input you supply, okay, your output will be always long. So these 2 you can practice. Okay, and with this we are done with whatever functional interface we have in Java 8, right? So, and whatever functions you have written, this we call it as a lambda expressions. Whatever functions you have written, we call it as a lambda expressions. Apart from this functions, so again click on that. When you click on that, when you go here in Eclipse and you click on this, see, these are the functions you have, right? So functions, what you have, 2 bi functions, 2 double functions, 2 double bi functions, then 2 long functions, then you have long functions. So you can see that all the functions. Is Java util functions, you have all the functions. So basically in Java util functions package, you have all the functions. So whatever functions you have, double to int, double to long, double functions, right? So whatever functions they have mentioned here, I have covered everything, all the functions. Now as a part of this functions package, we have some more things which we'll see that in next video. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching this.